Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Riad Ouarzazi, welcome you to another episode of the Hajj, Madrasatul Hajj, the Madrasa, the Hajj school. Today, inshallah ta'ala, we'll talk about the fourth pillar of Al-Hajj, which is Arafah. Arafah is the main pillar, in fact, of Hajj. Al-Hajj Arafah. The Prophet says, Al-Hajj is Arafah. The pillar here is, what is Arafah? Arafah is a plain. Arafah is not where that mount is. You know, some people think, if you have to go to that mount. The mount is Mount al-Rahmah, Jabal Rahmah, is inside the plain of Arafah, but that's not what Arafah only is. The whole plain, it's a huge plain, it's called Arafah. The Prophet stood on that where the mount is, and he said, I stood here, and the whole plain is Arafah. The standing on Arafah is the fourth pillar of Hajj, and one has to be present there for the Hajj to be valid, as long as they make it before Maghrib. If you come to Arafah after Maghrib, after sunrise, after sunset, your Hajj will not be valid. And even you cannot pay jizya, or you cannot pay dam, or offer a sacrifice, because like we said, a pillar, if a pillar is missing, then you have to redo that pillar. It's not like I need to pay jizya, or I need to pay dam, or offer sacrifice for it. La, it will not, offering the sacrifice would not, it does not fix what that problem that you have done with regard to that pillar which you have missed. So you've got to be there. Normally people, they go after Dhuhr or before Dhuhr, but now what happening now in Saudi Arabia, the Hukuma Saudiya, the Hukuma of Saudi Arabia, they assign times to different companies, Hajj companies. For instance, maybe a Hajj company might come and say, we have to leave after 2 a.m. or midnight, on the night of the Hijjah, because Arafah is on the night of the Hijjah. Normally the Sunnah is to go there after you pray Fajr in Mina, like the Prophet did, and then you go towards Arafah, right? But sometimes you cannot do that. So because the government has issued timings for different companies, so you have to abide by the rules of the Hajj company that you go with. So sometimes some people, like I said, with the traffic, and because that day, subhanAllah, everybody is going to Arafah, and sometimes it's so hard to reach subhanAllah Arafah, and sometimes some people, they reach there right before sunset. But like I said, as long as you're there before sunset, your Hajj is valid, alhamdulillah. So you go there, and there's a lot of things that one has to do in the day of Arafah. You reach there, depending on what time you reach there, you take some rest, and then there's this the prayer, of Arafah, people pray Dhuhr and Asr, together, combined and shortened, and then there's that speech, the speech of Arafah, right? And then after that, people will take again some rest, and then get ready for the main work that happens in Arafah, which is, right before Maghrib. From Asr time until about Maghrib is the time of dua. The time of dua. And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, when he used to say, the best I have said, me and the prophets before me, is, La ilaha illallah. The dua of Arafah. The dua, of the day of Arafah. When the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, as he said, in the hadith reported, authenticated in Bukhari, Muslim and others, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks the angels, and he looks upon all the people, all the servants who are there in Arafah, and he says, what have brought my servants here? And he knows subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Rabbi, they came seeking your forgiveness. The angels reply, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, oh my angels, you bear witness that I forgive all of them on the day of Arafah. So that's why, you try to focus a lot on dua and qira'at al-Quran and dhikr on that particular day of Arafah, right? So like I said, you pray you on the day of Tarwiyah, the 8th of the Hijjah, right? If you are in your hotel, let's say, you go to Mina, with your Hajj company, or whatever the program is, and then after the 8th of the Hijjah, on the night of the Hijjah, after Fajr, or whenever they assign you to go, you head towards, you leave Mina, and then you go to Arafah, and then you spend there, you pray Dhuhr and Asr, and then after that you listen to the khutbah, and then you start, and you rest. Yes, some people, food, of course. Let me talk about the food there, because sometimes, depending on the companies, sometimes people offer lots of food, and then there's also in terms, you have to be careful in terms of the subhanallah, the washrooms when you are in Arafah, because it's all a plain, and there are not that many washrooms and whatnot. So that's why you have to try to be light on your food. Don't just go and overeat and whatnot, because not only that, what's going to happen after Arafah is Muzdalifah, and then Muzdalifah, it's even worse, because Muzdalifah is, there's no 7-star or 6 stars hotel in Muzdalifah. It's 1,000 million stars. Well, why? Because it's all from you and the sky. All the stars. There is no hotels. It's all on the ground. And then the washrooms again are very scarce. So that's why you have to be very careful. Try to drink lots of water on the day of Arafah, and focus on Quran, dhikr, and dua, right? Especially from Asr until Maghrib. Once, some people, they want to go to Masjid Namira, the masjid where near that, where the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he offered that speech, and pray Dhuhr there, combined and shortened with Asr. But again, stay with your group, stay with your Jama'ah. You don't want to get lost. A lot of people, sometimes they just want to do things, on their own and whatnot. And then with experience, a lot of them get lost, and then it's so hard to get back to where you are unless you really know things inside out. But here I commend you really, and I strongly, recommend that stay with your group and stay with your Jama'ah. After Maghrib, right after sunset, the Maghrib should not be prayed in Arafah. Right after Maghrib, because we delay, normally what we do, we delay Maghrib until we go to Muzdalifah. Go into Muzdalifah, now we finish the Arkan. Once you finish, Arafah, you have finished the pillars of Hajj, right? And then you move into the obligatory actions of Al-Hajj, like Muzdalifah. Muzdalifah is an obligatory, but not a rukn, not a pillar. The difference between obligatory and pillar, if you miss it, you have to redo it. You cannot pay, offer them for it. But an obligatory action, if you were to miss it, you can pay, them or offer them, meaning sacrifice for it. So right after sunset, people will start moving towards Muzdalifah. You go to Muzdalifah, whatever your company or the group that you have traveled with, they will arrange, whether you're going by train or you're going by bus, they will arrange some sort of a plane for you, where people will, just like a camp, where you would go and camp there for the night. And then as soon as you reach Muzdalifah, you will pray Maghrib and Isha together, combined and shortened. Maghrib 3 rak'ah and Isha 2 rak'ah. Yes, witr you pray witr. Other than witr, khalas, there is no, I'm going to pray qiyam. La, the sunnah is that you pray those two salat, and then you go to sleep until Fajr. I know you're going to be tired that day, and a lot of people everywhere, and subhanallah, but that's what Hajj is. Hajj is like jihad, subhanallah. It is jihad, right? As the Prophet Muhammad said. It is not an easy trip, just so you know. It's not like a pleasant trip, regardless of your package. You may have VIP package, you may have whatever you call it, but it is a difficult, subhanallah, experience. It's not an easy, really, experience. Just so you set the record straight. Don't think that everything will be, na'am, Allah Azza wa Jal will make it easy to a certain extent for whoever Allah Azza wa Jal wants to make it easy for. But there will be some difficulties, my brothers and sisters. subhanallah, the crowd and the buses, and sometimes the buses may get stuck, and sometimes with the crowd you get late into getting into the trains, so things do happen. Remember my golden advice: sabr, patience. You will hear this a lot. Sabr, patience, patience, patience. Busy yourself with what? Busy yourself with dhikr and qira'at Quran. Have lots of water with you, lots of water with you, and maybe some those power bars, if you get hungry at some point, use them, inshallah ta'ala. But lots of dhikr and qira'at al-Quran and salat on Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. You pray Maghrib and Isha, you go to sleep, and then you wake up to pray Fajr in Muzdalifah. After you pray Fajr in Muzdalifah, then yes, you will get to pick up. Some people, they want to stay until sunrise, but you can pick up and some people will get to leave before Fajr, which is also permissible, as Ibn Abbas when the Prophet Muhammad he sent those who could not spend the night, and then he sent them with him sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then they left before sunrise. They left after midnight or so. So this is also permissible. But if you can't stay until sunrise, until you pray Fajr, that's mashallah, that's really good. So you pray Fajr, and then you take your jamarat. This is because you're going to use them for the next ritual, which is Rami al-Jamarat. You pick up the pebbles, and the first jamarat will only be 7 jamarat, because the first jamarat we're only going to be throwing 7 pebbles for the jamarat kubra. We'll talk about the jamarat inshallah ta'ala later on. There are 3 jamarat: the sughra, al-wusta, wal-kubra, the small, the medium, and the large. On the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, which is the day of Eid, they call it the Hajj al-Akbar. This is the biggest Hajj. Why Hajj al-Akbar? Because most of the rituals are performed on that day. The first is you go and then you throw the biggest jamarah, 7 pebbles. How many should you pick up? A little bit more than 7, just in case if you drop 1 or 2 and whatnot, you have extra. Some people, they say that I have to pick for all the 3 days. More than 70 jamara or pebbles. Not necessarily, really. You pick whatever you need for the 10th of Dhul Hijjah just to go through, and then you will get to pick up the pebbles for each day from Mina. And that is also the sunnah, subhanallah. For each day, you pick their pebbles from Mina. From Muzdalifah, you pick for the 10th of Dhul Hijjah 7 pebbles, and then you go, saying, of course, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, talbiyah, right? Labbaik Allahumma labbaik, until you reach the jamarah, because that's the day of Eid. You throw your jamarah, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. Again, it's to commemorate, there's a history behind this. One of the reports is that Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he wanted to slaughter his son, Shaitan came to whisper, and then he threw the pebbles at him, as per some of the reports by Ibn Kathir and others. So here it is not like you hitting the Shaitan. Some people, they think, we're stoning the Shaitan, and some people, they pick some huge stones and rocks, and they think, I'm gonna kill this guy, I'm gonna hurt him, he's the one who really destroyed my life, destroy my family, and divorced my spouse, because of him I'm going to just remember, it's a ritual. The Prophet said, do and we do as we did, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You are not really hitting the shaitan per se. It's the ritual of Hajj. You take pebble, 7, as big as garbanzo beans, the beans, hummus, a little bit bigger than adas, than the lentil, a little bit bigger than the adas, and in between the adas and the hummus, right? Between the lentil and the bean. And then you throw the jamarat. Once you throw the jamarat, you go back to your camp. That's the day of Eid. And then you stop the talbiyah, and after you stop the talbiyah, that day is the day of the takbir. Takbirat, Allahu Akbar, or tahleel, La ilaha illallah, right? La ilaha illallah, or takbir, or the takbirat. You go to your camp, and then it will be the day of the slaughtering as well. Normally the slaughtering is done on behalf of you by your company, by your sharika, by the company that you have traveled with. So they may let you know as to what time the slaughtering will happen. Normally around 9, 10 a.m. in the morning or so, the slaughtering is normally done. And then, some people, they, say, can I shave before I slaughter? It is all permitted, subhanAllah. The Prophet was asked, can I do this before that? The Prophet used to say, if'al wa la haraj. If'al wa la haraj. So, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. It is the best dua. Again, like I said, the dua of Arafah, the dua, as you are in the Muzdalifah, the dua in Mina, La ilaha illallah. And then, like I said, you make talbiyah until you reach the Mina, and then you stop the talbiyah, and you wait until the slaughtering is done. Well, if you don't want to wait, you can shave, but if you want to wait, it's fine. Wait until the slaughtering is done, and then you perform your shortening or your shaving of the head. For the sisters, we talked about it last time, is that, they cut up to a finger joint, right? So you shave, and then you take your shower, and then you rest, and based on whatever you decide with your company, the next thing is to go to Mecca to perform Tawaf al-Ifada. And that is the other rukn, the Tawaf al-Ifada, right? Tawaf al-Ifada is rukn here of al-Hajj, and we'll talk about this rukn, inshaAllah ta'ala, in the next episode. Barakallahu fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.